Does your wife lie to you? She doesn't tell the full truth. Maybe when you ask a question, she doesn't answer it completely. If yes, then continue to watch this video. Hi, my name is Valerian Sequera, and I help men to create the marriage they want to live in. In this video, I've divided this video into three parts. In the first part, I'm going to talk about the main reason why does she do that. The second one, I'm going to talk about the mistakes, because the things you're not supposed to do, because you're doing these things, she has started lying to you. And finally, I'm going to talk about what you need to do if you want your wife to openly share with you what is happening to her, what she is going through. So let's start with the first thing, that is why. The simple answer for the question why your wife is uh, telling you lies is because of fear. Imagine those good old days when you were a child. When you were a child, and let's say you came from school, and on your way back, your friends told you, let's go for a movie. And you went for a movie, and on your way back, when you reached home, your parents asked you what happened. Why were you late? And you tell your parents it's because you went for a movie. And the immediate reaction from your parents is, you're not supposed to go for a movie. How can you go for a movie? They shouted and screamed at you. Next time, imagine that you're coming home, your friends tell you that let's go for a movie, you still go for a movie, and on your way back home, when you reach home, parents ask you what happened. What are you going to answer? Are you going to tell the truth? Are you going to tell a lie? You're going to tell a lie. Why? Because of the fear of being shouted at. So the first thing you've got to understand, the reason why your wife is telling you the lies, whatever reason, whatever area that she is telling you the lies, it's because of the fear. Now let's look at the four things you're not supposed to do, and probably you're doing these things, and because of which she is lying to you. So what is the first thing? The first thing is, in your relationship, in your relationship, probably you are a critical parent. So in our relationship, we play three roles. The first role is, of course, of our husband. In fact, four roles. The first role is, of course, of our husband. The second role is of a lover. The third role is of a friend, and the fourth one is of a parent. So, husband, lover, friend, and parent. Now, the other three roles, I don't want to talk about it in this particular video. Maybe in some other video, I'm going to talk about it. But let's talk about the role of a parent. All of us, as a spouse, we play the role of a parent. Now, there are two types of parents. One are nurturing parents. The second one are critical parents. Now, that is true for even with children. You can be a nurturing parent to your child, or you can be a critical parent to your child. So, in a marriage, sometimes you play the role of a parent, and the question is, what kind of a parent role do you play? If you are a nurturing parent, then you would be a husband who keeps encouraging your spouse, telling you that you can move forward. That's called a nurturing parent. You're playing the role of a nurturing parent. On the other side, you can play the role of a critical parent, where you're looking at your wife as somebody who doesn't know much, doesn't understand, not as intelligent as you are, and you got to correct her all the time. You got to be that adult in your relationship because you think that your spouse is a child. And when you do that, when you become a critical parent, your wife becomes a naughty teenager. That's what happens. And when you become a critical parent, obviously the teenager tells you lies. So the first reason why your wife is telling you lies is because probably you're being a critical parent. The second thing is, you are correcting her too much. Like, whatever she does, it could be cleaning the house to cooking something to doing anything in the house, you do a lot of corrections. And because of these corrections, your wife feels unloved by you. So this is the second reason. The third thing is, when you when you're talking to your wife, you actually corner her. That means that the kind of questions that you're going to ask her, that makes her feel that uh, you're pushing her into the corner. The fourth reason, and the fourth thing you're not supposed to do, is connected with cornering, correcting, and being a critical parent, is you ask too many questions. And when you ask too many questions to your spouse, you might be asking uh, out of care, out of good intention. But when you ask too many questions, your spouse doesn't feel loved. She just feels that um, you are you are not being loving, you're not being trusting. And when your spouse doesn't feel that she can trust you, or you are not trusting her, she starts telling you lies. So before we get into what you need to do, if you have not subscribed to this channel, please go ahead, subscribe to this channel, click on that like button if you have liked the video so far, and click on that bell icon, because every time I put up a video, you would get access to it. So that by watching these videos, you can make your wife fall in love with you again. So let's jump into what you need to do. What you need to do is basically these things. The first one is stop being the parent to your wife. You're not your wife's dad. You're not. And you don't take up that role. And especially don't take up a role of a critical parent. You're not supposed to, you're not here to discipline your child, or rather discipline your wife. So stop being her parent, stop being her dad. The second thing is, and you might ask me, well, what if what if my wife is behaving like a kid? What can I do in that situation? If that is the case, then in your relationship, you have got into a loop. The loop is, you have got into a father daughter loop. And what is that? Your wife is not behaving like an adult. So you tend to be a dad, tend to be a father. And because you're trying to be a father, your wife continues to be a daughter. Because she is, behaving like a daughter, you continue to be a father, and the loop is going on. So you got to break that loop, and by stop being the parent. The second thing you got to stop is, or the second thing you got to do is, you got to give up control. Asking too many questions, telling your wife what to do, where to go, how to behave, what to dress. Give up control. You don't have to control your wife. She is not somebody to be controlled. The second thing. The next thing is, stop asking too many questions. So let's come here. Why not ask too many questions? I understand that you have a very good intention when you ask questions. For example, your wife goes out somewhere and you keep calling her up to find out where she is. You just want her to feel safe. But in that process, you might have a great intention, but your action doesn't give that indicator. It gives the feeling that you don't trust her. And because of that, when somebody feels that they're not trusted, they stop telling you the truth. So don't ask too many questions. Let your wife come back to you and start telling you where she went and what happened, and let her inform you what's happening in our life. The fourth thing is, create safety in the relationship. The objective of all the above three things that I've spoken about is to create safety in your relationship. Because when there is no safety in your relationship, and there is two kinds of safety. The first kind of safety is called an physical safety, that we want to feel in a relationship. The second one is emotional safety. Physical safety is as simple as, I know for sure that you're not going to kill me when I'm with you. Now, that is physical safety. The emotional safety is where I feel that I know that you are not going to kill my emotional self. It means that if I open up and I be vulnerable, I start telling you about my life, those part of me which are not perfect, you're not going to shoot me down. You're not going to insult me. You're not going to ridicule me. You're not going to start giving me advice and make me feel like a fool. And when I feel that way, that's the time I'm going to tell you the truth. And that's the same with your wife. Your wife doesn't feel emotionally safe in your presence. And because of that, she starts hiding things, because she feels that from her past experience, she knows that if I tell him something, then he will get into that parent mode. He will start giving me advice. He'll start telling me, he'll start controlling my life. So might as well not tell him. And here is a bonus tip that I want to give you. The bonus tip is this. If you want to see the results, you got to be consistent, because bringing back love into the relationship is very much like losing weight. Let's assume that you have put on weight because for the last 10 years you had not been exercising, you had not been eating healthy, and because of that you have put on weight. Now you're going to try following a diet for a day, try doing an exercise for a day. Do you think you lose weight that you have put on for the last 10 years? Of course not. Will you lose weight in a month? At least 500 grams, 1 kilo? Maybe still not. But when you continue continue to follow the rigorous exercise and the diet and everything else, over a period of time, you're going to lose weight. Now, that's the same thing applies to relationship. If you are going to do something for a day and expect results from you, or for a week and expect your wife to be honest with you, you're on the wrong track. You are illusioned by your own thoughts. It has to be consistent. And for that reason, we have a community where I help men to be consistent on their journey to turning things around, to bringing back love, to create more and more safety in the relationship where their wife feels safe to not only share their problems and challenges, their secrets, but give them hugs and kisses. If you want to know more about it, just check out the first comment, or you can check the description. I have given you the details over there. So that's all for this video. And I want you to right now go to the comment section and write down over there what is that one new thing that you learned by watching this video. Let me know in the comments. I'm going to read them personally and I'm going to reply to you. So until we connect again in the next video, keep your love story alive. Take care and bye-bye.